Hi everyone, Diana here with our messages. It is the 7th week of the year 2019. I believe it's February the 10th to the 17th. Sounds about right, doesn't it? Well, welcome back. For those of you who are new to this channel, we are so glad you've joined us. What we're going to do today is we always get a message from my spirit guide, which is Philip. This is an oracle book, and we just kind of say left or right page. We'll get to that in a minute. The last 10 weeks or so, I've been giving you a process to help you reach joy in your life, again from one of my books. And this week, I just opened this book at random as well. This is a book that has 52 stories and processes in it to help you create joy in your life. And this week, I opened to page 106, which is exercise 46, and we'll get to that in a moment. But first, I want to tell you that everybody needs to get a little pouch or a big bag or some form of a bag. Now, why is this important? And what's inside of our bags? I'm going to talk to you about that today. Here where I am in rural Ohio, it's very cold today. Yesterday it was, I think, like 62 degrees or something. But raining all day, heavy rain, and today it's like 11 degrees. Very windy. Well, I live in the woods, and when the wind is really strong, with really strong gusts, I'm not always comfortable with that. It never used to bother me, and I don't know if it's age or after a tree fell on the air conditioner. And I had to get a new air conditioner. And when I went to get the new air conditioner, I learned that the furnace I had was so old that it wouldn't support the new air conditioning unit. So I had to get a new furnace. And when they started putting in the new furnace, I learned that the propane pipes underneath the house had rusted and were leaking propane. So that tree actually probably saved our lives if we look at it like that. But I don't want to go through that again. So I always talk to the trees and I thank them for staying upright, or if they must fall, to fall away from the structures, or certainly away from any of the critters. And they listen. They do, other than that one time, which actually was a blessing in disguise. So that said, I woke up about 3 in the morning. And Philip, a lot of times will wake me up about 4:30. Remember, Philip's my spirit guide, and that time 4:30 a.m. is when the veils between the world are really very thin, and so it's not uncommon that those in the angelic world or those in spirit world will wake us up and say, "Pay attention." Well, this was a little bit earlier, and I woke up in fear. Wow. Okay, so what I have is a bag of how do I deal with different emotions. And the reason I say we need a physical reminder of how to deal with different emotions is because when we're caught in that emotion, that physical reminder will help us understand and move that we're caught in an emotion, and we can look at it to make our lives better and not stay caught in the emotion. So I want you to have some kind of a physical reminder. I think of it as a bag that I can, my little bag of tricks that I can put things into. So when I woke up in fear this morning, what was my first bag of tricks? Well, the first thing I wanted to do, excuse me, I'm scratching today. I apologize for putting my hand in front of my face there like that. I sometimes forget I'm talking to a camera. Sometimes I try to forget that as well. Anyway, so what I did is I woke up in fear, and my first thought was because of the wind coming through the trees. It was very strong and very loud. And I probably heard a crack on the roof, which is what woke me. I'm not sure, but there were some tree, not big limbs, but smaller branches, a lot on the roof this morning. So it's probably what woke me. So anyway, let me put the bag down and stop playing with it. So the first thing I did is I did a breathing exercise, and that's very simple. I'm going to give you several different things that are in my bag, but I want you to get your own bag and put all of these different tools into your bag. Because again, if we have that physical reminder and we're caught in an emotion, we can heal that emotion. But if we're caught in the emotion without the physical reminder, it's just harder. I want to also say, before I go on with my story, that right now the world is caught in the emotion of fear. And out of that fear comes anger, comes rudeness, it comes unkindness, lack of compassion, lack of understanding, etc., etc., etc. Everything you can think of that goes under that big heading of fear. There's a lot in the world under the big heading of love as well. And that's where we want to put our energy. So when we get caught in the fear, we have this whole bag of tricks that we can move from the fear into our energy, not by stuffing absolutely not by stuffing that emotion into the bag, but by looking in our bag of tricks and saying, okay, what's in there for me? Well, the first thing I did, as I said, was breathe. And this is a very simple exercise. I simply say to myself or aloud, I breathe in and let go. I breathe out and relax. So on the in breath, we say I breathe in. On the out breath, we say I breathe out. Well, that didn't work. So I had to dig in my bag of tricks for the next trick. I keep music beside my bed, and I just turned on the music. This happened to be one of my favorite pieces of music of all time. It's Nakai's Canyon Trilogy, and it relaxes me, and it takes me to beautiful places. So I turned on the music. It helped mask the sound of the wind a little bit, but I was still in this place of fear. So I said, okay, what's my next trick? Let's go deeper. So the next trick came out that I have a couple of very close friends right now and many clients and people that I know who are battling horrific diseases and going through exceptionally difficult times right now. So I thought, I need to do some healing work. I came awake so I could do some healing work. So I called in the healer I use from Spirit World, and I asked her to work with me, and we did some healing work of different people I know. Okay, the fear was still there. So I had to go deeper than that even. So I went deeper. And I said, all right, what is this fear? Generally speaking, that which we're afraid of is not what the fear is about. Now, that's not always true. If we're in a situation, we're walking down a dark street and somebody starts coming at us, and they're coming at us with a knife or God forbid a gun, and that's not, we're not going to sit there and rationalize the fear. We're going to say, we're going to scream. We're going to know there's a fear here. That's not the fear I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of fear there's no reason for it. That on the surface, it's deeper than what we seem to think it is on the surface. So that might be a driver cutting us off, for example, and we get really angry at them, and anger is part of fear. And it's kind of like, why am I so angry at that silly driver? Yeah, he almost caused an accident, almost caused me to get hurt, but I'm fine. And thank goodness that she's in front of me and not behind me. It might be something that mundane that causes us fear. So whatever the fear is caused by, we want to dig deeper. So I kept digging deeper in this particular case. And what came up in the end is, I went through all my issues of, is it fear of lack? Is it fear of illness? Is it fear for someone else? Is it fear, I have a kitty who needs your prayers and your healing energy. Her name is Petey. Some of you who follow me on social media, on Facebook, have seen her picture, and I'll put it back up this weekend perhaps. But Petey is going through an illness, and we're trying to heal her. We are healing her. We're not trying. We are healing her. We're working with the vet, and hopefully she's getting better. But that was on my mind. But also, before I went to sleep, I said, okay, tomorrow I'm going to make the video. And I said, Philip, give me the information I need to pass along to others. Finally, it hit me. When I looked in my bag of tricks and I asked myself, okay, what is this fear about? It was, I had to experience it. So I was experiencing the fear of the world because I had to be able to pass along to you after I went through each of my personal fears and either worked through them or deleted them. And then I said, this, it's still there. This is bigger than me. And then I remembered asking Philip, give me the information. Our world right now is addicted to fear. The brain has been programmed. The workings, the wiring in the brain of so many right now is programmed for fear. And that's what we're counteracting. That's why so many of you right now are feeling stuck or feeling I don't have answers or feeling abandoned by the universe, by spirit. What I want you to know is we are rewriting the world. We are reprogramming that addiction to fear. We're reprogramming our world to have an addiction for love. Love seems to be much true love, actual love, not the romantic, beautiful love, but actual deeper love. It seems to not be as addictive as fear. It may be. I think it is, but when I look at the world, it seems not to be. So in my bag of tricks, because of the work I do in the world, I do have that in there. What is going on in the world? I need to look at that. So my friends, I was glad as the mystic and the shaman that I was able to look at that fear and pass it along to you to ask your help in healing our world from that addiction of fear. Keep in mind, if we make a choice, any emotion will fit under. This makes it very simple, and it actually comes from A Course in Miracles that I started reading back in the 1980s, years ago. But this is what I really remember from that. There is love, there is fear. Those are the basic two emotions, and everything comes out of either love or fear. Let's remember that, either love or fear. Put that in your bag of tricks. Make sure you put that in there because that's a good one. And when we get caught in anything over here under fear, anything that is not love is fear. And when we get caught over here in the fear, all we need to do is look at it so we can then counter it with love. If you're a worrier, make sure to check out my YouTube video about the worry jar. Okay, I promised you a way to find joy. And this goes along, it's interesting because after I knew what we were going to talk about today, I then just randomly opened a page, and I love the synchronicity of it. This is live in the moment. You know, the past, yesterday is over. Tomorrow's not yet here. And if we simply live in the moment, we're able to find joy. Even if the moment is sad, there's a sadness going on. There's a fear going on. And we can stop and ask ourselves, what is that fear about? What is that sadness about? So if we just stop for a moment and think about yesterday, it's gone. I can't do anything about yesterday. And tomorrow, it's not here yet. I can't do anything about it yet. I can plan it. I can send out whatever I need to send out. I can write the next chapter of the book, but I've got to live here in the moment. And if we just live in the moment and we're able to accept the moment for what it is, we become happy. You know, let me give you an example that hit me years ago. I was standing at the kitchen counter and I had dishes and soap bubbles going, and I looked out the window and my mind was racing because it was going, oh, I got to do this, got to do that. And I looked out the window, and out in the meadow, in my backyard, a herd of deer. And then I looked down at the soap bubbles, They were so alive with color. The soap bubbles brought me such joy, as did these deer, that I completely let go of tomorrow and completely let go of yesterday and just stayed with those beautiful soap bubbles and the deer. And since then I've said, you know, if you can find joy, if you can see the beauty in soap bubbles, you know joy. So my friend, put that in your bag as well. Let's see what Philip has to say, shall we? No, we just randomly open at a page, so think left page or right page, and we'll just see where we're going to open. There we go. Let's see what it says. I'm hearing left, but I always read right, because I'm also hearing right. So, but I'm going to read left, and that's our message, and then we'll see what right has to say too, because why not? Here's our message, though. You must leave the known and travel through the unknown to return to the known. You must leave the known and travel through the unknown to return to the known. Oh, my friends, that is so important. And that's what's happening in our world today. You know, this week we're going to have so much more ugliness come up. We're going to have so much turmoil. I don't even want to go there right now. The weather patterns will calm down a little bit this week. It's almost like we'll see a little bit of more normal this week, except I am seeing a surge of water along the northern east coast, and the whole east coast really, like northern and southern, and there's a little spot in the middle there that's not going to get it. But it's like water surging up. And there's going to be some rain out here in the west. A little more calmness in the mid section. We've been through it, but there is a storm brewing, and of course there's going to be lots of snow. Europe looks okay, Asia looks okay, but the weather patterns are okay. There's a clunk coming off way up here in the north, or something going up, like up around the North Pole, that will come down, and that may cause the weather. With politics, the turmoil is only going to increase. We're increasing that energy around there, so we can do this. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. The right side says, does not each artist paint a different picture even when many look at the same landscape? Does not each artist paint a different picture even when many look at the same landscape? My friends, your own unique contribution, your very uniqueness, who you are, matters to the world. Your contribution is so important to the world. Please never underestimate how important your smile is. Never underestimate how important your heart is. Never underestimate the giving and the receiving that you do. And remember, when you must leave the known and travel through the unknown to return to the known. Thank you, my friends, for helping all of us build a greater world of love, compassion, caring, kindness. Not this world over here of the addiction of fear. When you're caught over here, make sure that you pick up your bag of tricks, your bag of how do I deal with the addiction, and use one of the things you have in there. Thank you. We love you. Daisy, Petey, all of us here, two-legged ones and four-legged ones. We thank you for being with us. We thank you for loving us and supporting us. And we thank you for receiving our love. We love you. We love you.